Namo Buddhaya, dear Dhamma friends. If you haven't subscribed our channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon. When Leo Tolstoy was 19 years old, he was once treated at a Kazan hospital for some ailment. At that time, a Buddhist monk was admitted to the hospital after being beaten by thieves. The thief stole and beat, but the monks felt sorry for the thief. They had forgiven him. So Leo Tolstoy was surprised. And since then, Leo Tolstoy has developed a passion for Buddhist philosophy. And he nurtured it all his life. Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy, September 9, 1828 to November 20, 1910, was baptized in the Russian Orthodox Church. At the end of his college days, he began to find life, human beings, and the whole world meaningless and dull. He has played this emotional game in his autobiography, Confession. Written between 1869 and 1980, the character highlights the religious changes that took place in his childhood and youth. Initially, they were concerned about the Orthodox Church. But soon they were disappointed. He hated corruption and faulty teaching. He turned to Buddhist philosophy to study the religions and philosophies of the East. In his books What I Believe, 1883, A Confession, 1884, and What Then Should We Do, 1886, Tolstoy argued that Buddhist philosophy was more appropriate and superior to spiritual advancement than Moses, Muhammad, Socrates, and Christ. In 1889, he wrote a large essay called Siddhartha. He also points out how the original teachings of the Buddha were distorted by his followers by creating different sects. Towards the end of his life, he was inclined towards Buddhist philosophy. He completed the Buddha, the Circle of Reading, Anna Karenina and Karma. He was a vegetarian himself. Was against violence. He liked simple living. Since the majority of Buddhist principles had permeated Hinduism, he had also studied Hinduism. He was reading some translated Vedic magazines. In a letter to Swami Vivekananda, he says the movement to adopt Buddhist philosophy should be more effective than the freedom movement in India. Because the Buddha's guiding principles are to improve the relationship between all human beings, to live in harmony, and to be consistent and complementary to natural as well as scientific matters. This public letter was read by Gandhi while he was in South Africa. But Karmat Gandhi only adopted Tolstoy's simple living and non-violence principles. Leo Tolstoy was also influenced by the ideas of Lao Tzu, who introduced Taoism to China. He is mentioned in his famous novel War and Peace, 1869. The principle of Taoism is to control the mind. Thus Tolstoy seems to have been influenced by the trinity of Buddhism, Hinduism and Taoism. But his main idea was that the human race should live peacefully, live together and live happily without discrimination. He practiced this Buddha-like philosophy throughout his life and mainly presented it in his literature. Leo Tolstoy was from the rich class. However, he used to speak to the farmers in simple language. He said, language should be simple. People speak simple language. Don't speak book language. It's an Iliad-like epic, he said of his own novel, War and Peace. Speaking about Dostoevsky's literature, he said, Dostoevsky painted perverted people. She was not real. He wanted to read Buddhist philosophy. So Leo Tolstoy was not only a Russian writer but also a moral philosopher. It has to be admitted that the influence of his literature on the masses is still there. Sanjay Sawant, Navi Mumbai, author, senior Buddhist historian.